Technical difficulties, too much switching stuff around. That's just what happens. So, that being said, happy Monday. Welcome back to the Arts Department, friends. Hello, how was the weekend? I hope it was great. Mine was very, very chill. Hello, Anelville. Welcome back. Hello, Vil Farrell. Nice to see you, my friend. Oh, it is. Okay. Thank you for informing me. I will turn said music down by 5 dB, and hopefully that's better. Can never tell because I have this exterior breakout box, like I said, so I can turn it way the fuck up. Oh, I said a naughty word. How was the weekend, my friends? How was the weekend? Hi, Martes, and welcome back. Did you watch something fun last night? Make sure we got some focus here. TV shows? I mean, sure, why not? I watched crappy movies. Played a little bit of No Man's Sky with Mr. Vil Farrell, just to familiarize myself with the multiplayer on that and see what it was all about. And then after that watched Batman v Superman, because why not? Crappy, right? Totally worth it. Totally worth it. There's some really cool stuff in that movie, like visual effects and like fight scenes and stuff where I was just like, yeah, that's cool. The rest of it was crap, but it was totally cool. You know, gotta take things for what they are. Just enjoy them, right? Just enjoying it. And then today was a nice work day. Got a bunch of painting done. Yeah, you know, I actually have I specifically set aside time for crappy movies to remind myself that there is crap out there. And I watch them because why not, you know? Because otherwise I wouldn't watch anything because I'd be too critical. At one point my younger brother was like, dude, I don't like watching anything with you because you just watch it like you're like every moment has to be 100% amazing and you're hypercritical. And when he said that, I was like, you know what, you're totally right. So I started watching crappy things here and there and just taking them at face value. Like I watched over the weekend. Is this over the weekend? Yeah, over the weekend. I watched The Losers from it's a show or a movie from 2010, 2011, and it is absolute camp, and it's based on a DC Vertigo comic of some sort, and it was just bad. It was bad, but it was like so bad that it was good. So I think, honestly, at this point, I think all I have left is crappy stuff, so I just enjoy it. Right, but I mean, it's totally fun, totally not good cinema. Like, right down to like the effects were just like, you look at them and they were cheesy. Like, it was meant to be that way. So, you know, take it at face value, right? Not everything is going to be Schindler's List. Thank God. Yes. Clue. Forgot. Gotta have that. Gotta watch that one. Haven't watched that in years. So, just doing a little warm-up here before we get into the back into the pixel art in a little bit. And I wanted to kind of reapproach that skull that I had drawn. I don't know where that even is anymore. It was here somewhere. And see if I can make it more interesting. And I'm still just looking for the right dynamics for the image to make it something that I really enjoy. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Schindler Strikes Back. I'm gonna do something more. Yes. Not the pissed I meant. Not the pissed he meant. And for those that weren't there, got to play some D&D with Vil and Anavwheel. We did stream it out over the channel, and coming up here we will be streaming out on the actual Dungeons & Designers channel when we get it all worked out, and it will be amazing. And you all will love it. Or maybe not, but we had a good time, and that's really the important part, right? Did you have a good time? We did. I mean, I guess I shouldn't speaker them. What? Angry Dog Mommy coming in with the 3-month. Look at that. Look at that with that icon. Yeah, you got the 1. Right? Oh no, that's me. Of course I've got it. Let's see that 3-month sub badge there, Angry Dog Mommy. Shout it out, my friend. Everybody, can we get a little love for our favoriteest Angry Dog Mommy ever? Hey, wait a minute. Where's my heart? Why am I missing emotes? Is anybody else missing emotes? Of course it's just me. Boo. I can't do that. Yes, you are still a founder, but when you decide to choose, you will have the little angry horns on your skull there, just like Martest. Zero Z. Yeah, there it is. There's that love. Hey, there we go. Little refresh. There's the hype for the girl we love. Thanks, Angry Dog Mommy, for that wonderful resub at 3 months. It's been 3 months already? Amazing. It's so exciting. Love it. Time flies when you are having fun. Also flies when you're in a pandemic and hanging out with your friends on an art channel. So, another thing that I did this weekend was I went and did laundry. And during said laundry, I had my iPad and I did a little bit of sketching. And again, with this skull thing, like I drew it 3 times and I still have yet to find it. And it's like driving me crazy. It's absolutely driving me crazy. We'll see. We'll get there. If not, then I may just have to quit streaming entirely and never do another drawing. Or just start drawing with my left hand from now on. Like always. But we'll get there. It's just a matter of you know, and I think Vil Farrell can attest to this. When you're designing something, you got to you know, push it around a little bit until you find that exact thing, and until you find the thing that actually makes it work exactly how you see it in your brain, or at least until you can't look at it anymore, which are sometimes one and the same. So Sarah Oz, welcome in. Who else did I miss? Anybody else? I don't think I did. Sarah Oz, I see Cypher, I see Vil, Namera, Martest, Mackleboy. Hello, everyone. Don't be too precious. Some of our best art comes from starting over. Yeah, so that's why I'm just starting over. And it's weird because I did this one where it was like, it was really tilted back and his mouth was really open like this. And it just didn't quite, like, it was too much teeth, right? But I think I'll get there. I think it's somewhere between these two. And I just have to find that sweet spot. Did anybody else do anything fun this weekend? Anything at all? Call it off, my friends. That's super creative there, Vil. I mean, I'm still like digesting it, Phil. I'm just still working on it, trying to, like, I don't want to encourage you, but the delivery was flawless. So you win this round, my friend. You win. That was definitely good. I know Martest is definitely a fart. He's the silent but deadly sort. I know just from playing Among Us with him. Don't try and deny it, Martest. There she is. Hello, Angry Dog Mommy. How are you? How was your weekend? How'd the moving go? Moving, right? That was you that was moving. You were moving. Diego was celebrating Sasha's birthday. Did you like that D&D stream? Wasn't that awesome? I'm not not doing it, Bill. It's not canon. You're not doing this to my stream. Oh, hello, Stream Elements. Although nothing else works, apparently Stream Elements works flawlessly. I'm actually looking forward to some action. Although that character is not super action-oriented, but I am looking forward to getting into some shenanigans because I feel like we haven't really done much fighting at all with these characters, and I do want to kind of feel my way around him a little bit more. D&D is fun. Oh, another thing that I did this weekend was I spent a little while in the old merch shop adjusting some things because I got all of the merch samples that I had ordered, and I tried them on, and some things had to be like designs had to be resized, and so I'm wearing one right now. Some of the designs had to be resized because they were a little bit too big, especially the chonkers. Chonkers was like 12 inches, so like all the way down to my belly button and stuff. So I went in and resized all that, and then I got rid of the what do you call it, the classic tee, because it's those Hanes like super thick ones that nobody likes to wear anyway, and I left only like the premium tee and the tri-blend tee. And the tri-blend tee is the super soft one that I really like, that Daniel doesn't like because he's bougie and only wears cotton. Yeah. So clean that stuff up. That was fun, and by fun I mean tedious. What is this music? No. I'm not telling you anything. In fact, I'm taking you off the playlist. Bye-bye. It's a solid no on that one. Yeah, so it's very tedious to take all that stuff out and resize a bunch of stuff. And it wasn't like the resizing and everything, it was just like the actual process of updating the store. That shit is slow, dude. Slow. It's like you hit save and then just wait 5 minutes for it to be like, yeah, alright. Okay. Your stuff's updated. But soft shirts. I love it. I think this might be a little closer to what I had in mind. Like I had turned it in my other sketch a little too far to the side, so you weren't getting as much of the like shadow side of the skull. And I'm looking for something that has like some nice graphic read going. I am guessing that Angry Dog Mommy is not in. Oh, there she is. There's her avatar. Okay. You're here. She's here. Yay. Ooh, Warframe. I actually, I sent out the PS5 update-like thing onto the D&D Discord, just so people could see what it's going to look like on a PS5. Not that I would be playing on a PS5, but it is cross-compatible, or cross-play compatible. You don't need to apologize. I appreciate you being here with your lurk. With your lurking self. It was mainly, the reason that I sent it out to the D&D Discord was primarily for Vilfarel's eyes to fall upon, because I thought after playing, and this was actually my trajectory for gameplay, was I played No Man's Sky for like roughly 100 and something hours, and then I was like, I need something a little more fast paced, and then that's when I went into Warframe. And oh man, ninjas, gotta love it. I'd show you on stream, but apparently, yeah, it's so satisfying because you kill stuff so fast when you're geared up. Like, it starts off a little slow, but man, once you've leveled up some of your weapons and your frame a little bit, whatever your chosen current frame is, it's just like you just plow through stuff and it feels so good. I also, this weekend, some of you might have seen on the Discord that I was logged into Minecraft, and that was just setting up the server. So, just in case people feel like, you know, vegging out and doing some Minecraft shenanigans, or chillnanigans, or, you know, whatever. Although, from what I understand, it's gotten a lot harder with the latest release of the Nether update. Like, it's actually pretty deadly down there now. No, I didn't build a damn thing. I built a little house and a sign that basically says, "Welcome to the Arts Department server. Be nice to everybody." And that was it. But people said that they don't really play, so I did not post the server address on the Discord. Minecraft is one of those games where you kind of you go into it and you hang out for a bit, and then you go out and, you know, or you get really into it for a while and you build really cool stuff, and then you're like, okay, that was fun, and then you're done for a long time until they do yet another update. So, man, they update all the damn time on that game. And then you go back and you check it out and you play for 20, 30 hours, and then you're like, okay, I remember what this game's all about. It is very time consuming too, you know? So every time that I get into very time consuming games where I can't just pop in and pop out, like, I feel like Warframe is one of those where you can pop in and do a couple of things and pop out in 30 minutes or whatever. But like with Minecraft, you pop in and you're like, I'm just gonna do a thing, and 6 hours later you're like, look what I have built, you know. So it's a, you know, there's many other ways that I can spend my time other than building in Minecraft yet again. So just got to make sure that I give equal time to the important things as the chill out things like Minecraft, you know. Important things being artwork, YouTube vids, time with you guys. I mean, quite honestly, Minecraft would be a lot of fun with all the PvP still turned on. And just, you know, a little bit of a mixture of Among Us and Minecraft. I mean, I'd have to find some kind of plugin that would disable block breaking or something, because that would go so, like, immediately people would just dig down like all the way to the bedrock and hide, you know? Like, where's the fun in that? Could do that, or leave block breaking on, but give the imposter X-ray vision on the server or something. Could possibly go wrong. Nah, I was actually talking to Dave Greco about that, about Minecraft, and I mean, talking to him, chatting on his stream with him about it, and he had a good point that everybody is into it briefly and then gets distracted by other things. So I set it up just in case, but I don't have high hopes for yes, Vil, exactly. There's that, like, okay, I have spent a good portion of my life right now building this thing. What is this thing for anyway? Looks pretty. It was fun to build, very relaxing, but you know, maybe that's something that we as a society need to kind of get past, is that constant need to be working towards something, right? Maybe there's a little more health in taking moments for ourselves to just be and do what our inner child wants to do, right? Like, maybe there is a little too much of, like, I'm not working all the time. And it's you know, it's gotten worse in our generation. So, I don't know. Analyze that inner voice that's telling you that you should be productive all the time, and maybe tell it to fuck off. You know? Just a thought. Just an opinion. I could be wrong. That other sketch go? But I did more sketches for that. We may have to revisit it again. Yet again. Rick, welcome back to the Arts Department, my friend. Nice to have you here. Did you have a good weekend, sir? Oh, are you like at the end, or have you been playing for the past 3 days and you are near the end? I mean, no pressure if you're not anywhere near those things. I was just wondering if you're like right at the end and you're trying to get over that last part. Roughly the same thing, so we actually want to turn it a little bit more. So, something like that. Nope, further up. See, we're closing in on it. I think we're getting close here. So, doing this halfway. I think I got about halfway, and the quitter in me was like, okay, bye. Bad enough of you. Hello again, Rick. Are you having problems with a mobile application, sir? Ah, damn ads. You know, it gets rid of ads, don't you? Subscriptions. So I think we're somewhere in this world. Could be wrong, though. This is straight up. Right on, Rick. A little love and hype for Rick. Yeah. Coming in strong with the 3 months. That means you've got the new badge. Probably still have the founder badge, though. Congratulations. 3 months. Yes. All my wonderful 3-month people. So much love for you guys. Thanks for being here for 3 months. Since the beginning, making it happen. So cool. Awesome. Glad to have you guys here. Always. Happy to have a community wrapped around the art and the D&D and just the general shenanigans and chill out atmosphere. Seriously, Chasey? Congratulations on the creepiest commercial yet. it's weird because I have the Prime Loot subscription reminder on my own channel. Is it a good commercial, Martes? Well, hey, at least that's somebody that does. So right now I'm just mapping out these shapes because I feel like if I have the exact kind of at least the foundation of the things that I want, then I can like, I don't have to keep rotating it to figure out where it goes, you know? But so far I'm thinking this one actually has where it's at. Roy Munson? I don't know who's a Roy Munson, my friend. Kingpin, 1996 comedy. Maybe that's when I didn't watch a lot of comedy. Your references, man. Your references, I gotta say, Jay-Z, are the best. Bestest ever. You always come in hot with those, and I love it. Oh, is that the one where he's crying with the money? Yeah, okay. Now I remember. Yeah, took me a moment. For some reason I was thinking of Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know. I don't know, man. Yep, I think it's this one. Whoop. Let's try not doing that. So far, this guy's the winner. So I'll have to revisit it, I think, and find out if it actually has the strength to make it to a finished design. If anything, might have to like redesign some of the falling apart spacesuit thing, right? Down here. And maybe some of the stuff in... Yeah, and this is like what I started drawing last time in Oddwheel wasn't as strong, and I still feel like there's ways to make this more legible and interesting. It's just a matter of why is that on there twice? It's enough of you. Make it more legible and interesting with some of the design elements, and it may make it to an actual t-shirt / sticker design, or it may not. But I'm having fun with it, like, you know, putting a little more time and effort into thinking about these in a more designed context, right? I feel like part of it is that I get so used to, and I think I've said this already with my day job, smashing through something very quickly, like conveying the information in the most efficient way possible, and going with generally that first idea and just getting it onto the paper, because there's not a whole lot of time in production art to mess around. It's like you gotta like first instinct, do it, get it out there, and then refine it if you have time down the road a little bit. Which means you have to hone your instincts for what's good and what's not. Still waiting for that to happen. Maybe Kirby dots down here? I don't know why I've been... Battle Goose coming in with the 3 months. Oh, I love you guys. Look at that. That's another 3-monther right there. Woo! How about a little love and hype for Goose? How did my fucking emotes disappear? Well, alright Goose, sorry, but my emotes are gone, so you get a what instead. What? That's all I can give. That's all I can give. Maybe if I copied it from somebody else, I can give you some love and hype. Let's try this. See if it allows me to do it. Nope, doesn't want to let me. Can't use my own emotes on my own goddamn channel. It's like, oh well. Hey, Battle Goose. I loves you, brother. Thank you for the resub. Thank you for that 3 months. Sorry, my stream is being a little finicky this evening for people. Probably, I'm hoping that it doesn't have anything to do with me switching out stream stuff for the D&D stream this past weekend. That would kind of suck, right? Because that D&D stuff is going to keep happening. That's just how it goes. That's how it goes. Yeah, I think this is a 1, or a winner rather. And this guy can go the way of the dodo. Although I do kind of like some of these tentacles. So we can paste them. See if there's anything that doesn't completely mess up the design of this stuff. And let's mask this out real quick. Nah. Said it before and I'll say it again. So, a lot of this stuff is playing around until you find what works. Bill knows. Alright. Sketch is sketch. So, now that Goose is here, we can actually translate back to the pixel art that we so unceremoniously stopped when he left the stream last time. I kid. We kept going. Let's see if I can find it. It's probably in the folder labeled pixel art, right? So, this is the full-size image, and there's the mountains. So, for pixel art, if you were not here last time, you switch to the pencil tool, you put the brush on the regular old circle brush, and then, when you are on a layer that you can draw on, your brush is then a pixel, or a series of pixels, creating a dot. That can also come in handy when using brushes that are not the round brush. If you want something where you're actually painting in a texture, you could go to a Photoshop that is more textural, and on the pencil tool, it's going to be just pixels, and you can see how it changes. So if I was to select some of these tones here and try to paint with this brush, you can see that the underlying texture just naturally paints stuff in, right? Which is, it can be handy, but at the same time, it's a different technique than I currently use. But I have used it in the past. Most specifically, I would say on not that one. On this image here. So this was all done with a painterly brush, and I just painted big broad strokes in there for the most part, and then came back and refined some edges with single pixel fixes and that sort of thing. It was more kind of it was definitely a more painterly approach. Like, this is a more linear approach, so I'm using mainly the round brush, right? Because I want to have more control over so I want to have more control over the actual pixel placement. So when you're doing the eraser tool, make sure to switch it to the pencil tool, and that will give it that same hard edge, so that you are adding and subtracting the same kind of edge. Make sure and turn off the pressure sensitivity so that it's 100%, because if you do not and you try to resize, it will most certainly not give you the effect that you want. So now that I've got that in place and the colors are right, I'm going to add in some color variants here and there. Make sure that my pressure sensitivity is turned off, and I am painting color 100%. Yeah. So I'm just putting some kind of pops of hue and saturation change on some of these edges. So this is, again, because of this technique, it is essentially, it's just painting with pixels. And so we're looking at, okay, that's a cast shadow, so that's not going to have that same kind of edge, but I want to get this kind of happening throughout the image. And after all of this, I'll come in once it's on that big image and we've sized it up, and there'll be even more color variants via some overlay layers and things like that really drive home variety, right? Stuff is really fun. So, if you have access to Photoshop, if you can afford the $10 a month for Photoshop and Lightroom CC, I recommend it, because it's a pretty robust program. I actually was doing a little bit of animating this morning in it just to see what the possibilities were, because I was looking around at what they had introduced, and you can actually put a video layer in and then draw directly on each frame of the video layer without having to do new layers and all this stuff, which is what you used to have to do, and it was pretty cumbersome. But so somebody had said something on the D&D Discord about my character looking, or somebody had posted a comic on the D&D Discord, Bex did, of my character being like Kuzco from Emperor's New Groove. And I responded, Karis face! And she said, well, you only responded that because you don't have a Karis emote. To which I went, wait a minute, and went and did this. So, I mean, it took me way longer than I wanted it to, because there's a lot of frames in there and I had to draw on each frame individually. But it was fun, and it kind of got me thinking about animating in Photoshop a little bit. Absolutely, Jay-Z. I literally know every line in that movie, like, by heart. It's stupid. Like, at one point, I had a model here, and she was, like, sitting and watching it while I was doing, like, an alla prima. And I was, like, word for word, as I was painting, reciting the movie as she was watching it. It was pretty silly. It's my birthday present to me. I'm so happy. Anybody else in chat like the Emperor's New Groove? Oh, it's one of my favorites. Oof, that's way too vibrant. Let's try this again. Let's go there. Let's move it more into the blues. And just a little bit more desaturate. It's the interesting thing about color is that you would think that you could, if I select this and it's right there, and then I just move the slider into blue and then move, a little bit lighter, that it's actually going to be lighter. But that's not how values work. Like, certain hues are tied to certain values. So it can look like I'm supposed to be lighter, but I would actually have to move diagonally to get there for it to be lighter. It's a weird thing. It's super weird. But so you have to be very careful when you're looking for certain hues and you're moving around your color slider. You gotta actually put something down and make sure that that's the color that you want, right? Or the color and value that you want. Because as soon as you start shifting hue and saturation, it's going to adjust. Like, everything kind of shifts independently, right? You can't just be like, oh, I'll just add some white to that. Nope, not gonna work for you. So right now, just adding in some details in those shadow forms, just to drive home that there's some occlusion happening in those shadows, just a little bit, right? Doesn't have to be everywhere. Plus, I'm projecting that this edge here is going to be lighter at some point. We're going to make it kind of match with the rest of the color. shadow there. Just a hint that there's a pathway leading up to that cave, that if you, the adventurer, find it, you can get to that cave. It's like the secret level. You, the adventurer. Grab some of this, put it down here. I think the river down here is going to end up giving me a little bit of problems, as is this transition here. I'll end up probably having to do some painting in one pixel or another to mesh them all together. Hello, Uncanny Pally. Welcome back to the arts department, my friend. How was your weekend? That is fair. That is absolutely fair. I filled my time with projects. One project to the next. Except for when I was watching crappy TV, which was needed. It's nice to just go, you know. You can see there's a little bit of dithering going on back here, and dithering is where you have just like one pixel kind of spread in that kind of indicates some light being cast across something. It doesn't necessarily indicate a turning of a form, but it can read like a shadow shape. I don't really use dithering intentionally usually, because that's just not part of the style that I try to emulate. I was never a fan of like mechanical dithering. Mechanical dithering would be like where you come in and you actually do like you have these checkerboard shapes, and then it kind of is offset just a little bit so that you get this kind of gradient effect going on. And then down here it gets darker. So that right there would be dithering. And you can see it gets that kind of shadow shape, and I was never really a huge fan of that. It just felt too mechanical to me. So I always go for more of a natural kind of shadow transition in things. Like, it's okay to have what feel like random pixels here and there. Oh, that was another thing I did last night, in amongst everything else, was I made chocolate chip marshmallow cookie dough. Because why not, right? Because that's what I need more of. Sugar and carbs. Delicious though. Let's see something. Let's turn that normal, and we're going to drop a hue stat layer in there and adjust it a little bit and see what it looks like. I made some like during lunch, I heated up the toaster oven and I cooked up like 4 of them because they're still in the. I just made the dough. I didn't actually like cook all the cookies because I'm not insane. Yeah, I had some after lunch and I definitely needed a nap in the afternoon. I was like, oh god, it's too much sugar. Okay, so I'm going to resize this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to nearest neighbor and I'm going to put the width to 200%. I'm going to say okay. And then I'm going to go back to our background that's 100%. Now that I feel like this is pretty much finished, right? I'm going to drag it into there, into that 100% one. And then I'm going to step back in our history to right where I did the hue saturation before I sized it up. Now I'm going to go back to our main and I'm going to take a look at it. Wait a minute, where's the background color? I swear we had background color in there. Maybe it's in the other file? Ah, there we go. Wait a minute. Ah, this is the background at 100%. Derp. So, the one that we want to drag. History. Image size. Now we can drag it into this one. This one. There you go. Did some little blue adjustments. I thought it was going to be about right, and it was. So we're going to save that 100% illustration. And go back to here. There's a lot to remember with a lot of these things, and there's a lot of places that you can mess up what you're working on and not be able to go back. So it's important to take your time if you're trying to go for this kind of thing and make sure that you're in the right file doing the right thing, because you could easily screw yourself and have to like find a way to go back. I've in the past have to like screenshot what I'm doing or what I've done where I messed it up and then have to go and like trace off every pixel again at a smaller size, which is kind of a pain in the ass. Hydrate, friends. It's good for you. I'm very thirsty this evening. I'm going to blame cookies. How about a battle royale? How you guys feel about that? Shall we? Yeah? I actually have to type it in because things are not working today. It is time for the 8 p.m. Battle Royale. In drops, AR Turcut, Uncanny Pally, Rick, Battle Goose, Martest, Angry Dog Mummy, Navwheel, Nemeria, Sarah, and Stream Elements. Let's hope Stream Elements doesn't win. Go! And we've got 3 groups beating each other up. Nemeria goes for the corner. And Alvio makes a break for the bandage as someone goes down. And someone takes out Art. Sarah picks up another bandage as Anavwil and Stream Elements are beating up on Martest. Rick beating up on Stream Elements. Stream Elements takes out Rick. It's so rude. Stream Elements takes out Sarah, and it's Stream Elements against Anavwil. Anavwil wins. Congratulations, Inovuil. Take your dance, take your bow. You're the winner. So yes, Stream Elements does have a subscription, and it's only so that I can actually have Stream Elements deliver emotes and emojis and that sort of thing when it delivers messages. But I just set it up, and I don't know how to take him out of the rotation. I will take him out of the rotation. He, her, it, they, out of the rotation. And after this evening, hopefully, they will no longer be beating you up. But, you know, Inovuil avenged you all. Inovuils, assemble. So I want to add in some variance here on this layer because I feel like it needs to have something that's not so blue. Oh, that's the wrong layer. There we go. It's still blue, obviously, but just something to break up that overall blue shape. You can see it should have been lighter. There we go. Just trying to get that to feel a little more organic, and I will paint it so that it's a little less vibrant like that. But I also want to come in here and adjust this so that it actually feels like it's cutting into his head, right? So this line needs to kind of break that line up. And since it's bone, there will be a crack coming off of it. Come in, erase that out. There you go. So now it's a little more 3D, which makes sense, right? Now it definitely feels like it's smashed into the top of his head. So sometimes I like the pixels there, and sometimes I don't. Like, I just want to paint in pixels. I don't want to see in pixels. So let's get some variance in here. And this stuff is actually, it's interesting. Like, as somebody that creates all the time, it's interesting to me what my brain will lock onto thinking about just out of the blue. And like, especially shower thoughts, right? So I was in the shower and my brain was just like, oh, don't forget to put a lighter tone over all of that in this part, and this part, and this part, and this part. And I'm like, really, brain? I mean, you couldn't just tell me that when we were actually working on it? You had to like interrupt my beautiful, nice hot shower to tell me to fix a drawing right now? Yay for creation. So with this stuff, just being painterly, indicatorly, as the case may be, and this goes back into that like feeling thing, like, oh, this shape needs to break up more, so I need to have more of a horizontal there, or I need to put some kind of vertical here to make it feel like there's a building. and it's just like looking at the overall shape and asking, is it too busy, or does it need to be busy enough, and does it have enough color variance? Move that into the screen so y'all can see it. And since this is such a focal point, I am just going to, we're going to spend a lot of time on this one, this area. I mean, we're going to work our way into something really cool looking, hopefully. I mean, it's already fun, but, you know, hopefully we're going to make it even more funner. That's the ticket. That's the one. As usual, if anybody has questions, comments, concerns about any of these things, it's the most funnerest. Yes, Uncanny Pally, you are absolutely right. Yeah, so if anybody has questions or anything, feel free to drop them in the chat. I don't mind digressing to cover things at all, or maybe it'll fall into something that I'm gonna cover anyway. But we're not just here for the battle royales. We are here to share and learn about art and D&D and all of the fun things. Speaking of D&D, I am continuing on my adventures of watching The Mighty Nine during the day. I forgot how entertaining those good folks are. Yeah, I'm wondering if when it drops, if D&D Beyond is going to pick up all of the changes like immediately, because there's some things in there I think for the Ranger that I might want to enact on Quinn. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I've been waiting for them to add in the Unearthed Arcana for the Ranger for a while. I've had to actually go in and change all of the put together a wand that has all of the spells and everything on it so that I can have those spells in my slots even though they don't have them for Ranger slots. It's so annoying. Oh wow, it's gonna drop in 45 minutes? So at 9 p.m.? Oh, I didn't know it's at Eastern time. That's cool. Well, we know where you'll be at 12 a.m. Eastern time, or 9 p.m. our time, California time. Not our wonderful friends Battle Goose and Angry Dog Mommy's time. Our East Coast family, as the case may be. All of the things, all of the acronyms, they are important. The East Coast, huh? I can get behind that. Some of these, but also making them a little bit darker because the contrast, like technically it's closer to the viewer as it goes towards this side of the canvas, so we're going to get more contrast happening, so we'll get more shadow shapes kind of kicking out over here. Should probably use this shadow first because that's gonna help. Grab this and oh, there it is. Such a minuscule difference, but it makes a difference. Part of this style actually is to use using values that are fairly close together. This style meaning my pixel art style. The reason that I do it is because I feel like it has an interesting, more like a modern variance, I would say, on pixel art. Some of the dark and put some like pylons that would be going down, and I imagine that, you know, big river, they're gonna have to keep it kind of unfettered around where that bridge is to make sure that boats can always get through that area. Indeed, more pylons, all of the pylons. Shadow is going to cut across there, and the same here, this shadow, because sun is over here if we remember correctly, so these shadows are going to be cutting across the bridge here. Put some shapes back in here that are different color to mix it up a little bit. Break up that big blue back there. It's kind of turned into quite the metropolis here, actually. This kind of castle-y structure stuff going on. But some of it is meant to indicate like some open land and roads and stuff, right? So like think about where the roads would be essentially, and then come back in with some lighter shapes to indicate sides of buildings and some darker shapes to indicate the shadow sides of buildings. Yes, indeed. So that, hopefully that reads as if it's kind of going back in space a little bit, right? And get some shadows up on these buildings on the, behind the skull here, as well as a shadow on the rim of this bridge leading into the back of the skull. And all of this is going to read very clearly when I'm done, promise. I think what I meant to say is I hope. So, again, putting some shadow kind of along the river to indicate the top plane, right? And then this goes off into space, so I can just indicate it by kind of tapping in some pixels. And then when I get to doing that, like blending the two together, it'll come together more cleanly in that background shape. Put a couple of windows in there. And for some of these, it might be fun to actually use something that is a completely different color, and it'll really pop out, right? Shift even more yellow with some of it. And so essentially it's like, since this is going to be kind of a sunset, purples and stuff like that, with the final image, this is like the lights coming on as dusk is settling in. And of course, guard towers are always going to be lit, so irregardless. So then on this side, this is all ruins and stuff. And what we can do is we can come in and go a little bit more towards the blue-green. Right? So we get some variance that kind of indicates that it's a forest on this side. So the blues are just a smattering of some greens in there that kind of drive it home as being a forest outside of this big city. Just catching that light, and we'll offset that green with that final overlay layer that we do later on, and it won't be as jarring of a green ultimately. But still trying to, especially on this side, just pop in Leftwin. Thank you for the host. Very much appreciate it. Welcome. Can we get a little love and hype for Leftwin and the host? Well, thank you very much. Just doing a little pixel art, having a little fun tonight. We do, if you have never been here before, I do a variety of things. Let's see. So what you see there is pixel art. We do some pixel art. This is the world we're kind of playing in right now. But we also do things like Dungeons and Dragons characters. Plenty of those because we like Dungeons and Dragons. And narrative illustrations, merch, character portraits, random movie posters, game posters, pixel art, more characters, so you can get an idea about what happens here. This is from last month when we did all creepy drawings. This is from the D&D that we do on Saturdays. And more creepy from this past October when we did nothing but creepy drawings. So that's what I do. And Leftwin, how is your stream? What is it that you do? And thank you for the follows, my friends. Welcome to the arts department. Thank you, Jolly Stranger. Very much appreciate that. We are just getting into making this kind of happen. Oh, nice. Colored pencils. What kind of, do you have anything that you want to share in chat? Do you have an Instagram or anything like that? Do you want to show what you are working on? Or feel free, drop a link in chat. We'll check it out. Love to see it. Always like to see more art. Let's see if I can do Why is it not working? Stream Deck. Let's do this, baby. Do your thing. Do your thing. There you go. There's my links if y'all want to check things out and give me a follow. I'm going to check out Leftwind's work here. Ooh, hey. Cool. Colored pencil stuff. Digging it. Well, Final Fantasy mixed with Halo. Cool, man. Fun stuff. Like your renders, yeah. If y'all would like, you can join the Discord there. And we do after hours shenanigans. There's a section for feedback and art and that sort of thing. Always love to have new people joining the family. Welcome, friends. Welcome. So, like I was saying before, that wonderful host, just coming in, throwing in some greens to kind of show that it's a forest, and we'll offset it later on by putting an overlay layer that shifts it more in line with. For sure, Leftwind. Thanks again, and enjoy the lurk. That's how it always is, right? We'll use the overlay layer to unify everything at the end and put it within the same color world, and it will help to unify everything and get to be very similar to that other piece that we put together. It's interesting to come back to something after so long. Like I did that other piece ages and ages ago. I was in full production mode, gonna make a game out of it, and just conceptualizing what it could be. And I feel like if things pan out down the road, I would still like to make the game, because I haven't seen anything like the game concept out there. It's a mashup of things, but I feel like there's potential for it to be something really, really cool. But I would have to find, obviously, somebody that can do the programming, because that's where I stumbled. I went in and I was like, oh well, I'm gonna learn Unity, and yeah, that's a whole nother beast. You know, you get into that stuff and it's just like you could get there, but how long is it going to take you? And is that the best use of your time? Or is it better to save up enough scratch to pay somebody else to do the programming that already has those skills, you know? And so where I eventually arrived at is I'm just going to save up enough scratch and hopefully find somebody that will work on it and turn it into something that's close to what I have in my head. We'll see. It may be a long time coming, but you may see it out there someday, my friends. Ultimately, my goal is to continue to be as creative as possible with all of this stuff and produce fun stuff over the years. And hopefully we'll get there. Making fun stuff. Continuing to make fun stuff. So let's knock in some more deep shadows in here. Kind of show some pockets that go off in the back underneath this skull, right? Getting a little bit more added ambient occlusion underneath the, is that the zygomatic arch? A chromium process? Is Zygomatic arch, a chromium process. Yeah. So put in a shadow shape there. Probably need that. More of these kind of building shapes. And it's weird because it's not, there's no real shape to it. It's just like there's a vertical bit of pixels and, you know. But hey, it's a thing. That's what pixel art is. So I had said early on that there was a church and it was in the eye of the skeleton, right? Skull, of the eye of the skull. And I think we're gonna stick with that idea. So it's the I'm gonna grab this. And they're gonna have a light on right in the center there. And the church is called the Church of the Blind Eye. Why? Because I'm the fucking DM and I say so. I kid. I honestly, I would never want to be a DM. It's just too much pressure, to be honest with you. I don't know how DMs handle that much pressure. Pressure. So I'm gonna put in some color variants. God, I don't even know if you can see that on the stream, but that's a little bit more purple. We're going to desat it and make it darker. So there's more color variants in there. Yeah, see, I would love to get into telling everybody what the actual world is about. But I feel like if I started talking about it, I would want to give away so much of what the idea is for the actual game. Because I feel like it's actually it's going to be kind of fun. Like the concept is tied to the style. It's one of those kind of games. So it's definitely one where I can't talk about it too much. I can just produce the images on it until it actually gets into production, and then I can be like, well, this is what it's going to be like. Here's a little gameplay snippet, you know? Ah, under pressure, right. See, unfortunately, not my, like, I don't know the lyrics to that track, which I know it's like sacrilege, right? But I'm hard-pressed to quote them off the top of my head. Or maybe it's the stream. Or maybe it's the fact that it was in writing, or in text, and if you had been in person and said it, I would have been like, that's that. I miss people. Let's break up this road a little bit with some variants. First we'll vary the hue. And since it's in the shadows over here in the trees, it doesn't have to be too much value change. But we can shift the value ever so slightly. You can see I'm just barely moving it over on the color picker there. It's funny because once you said what it was and then I read it, my brain now sings it to me. So, good job. I've got one of those brains. Whoop. Okay. So maybe done. I might actually, I think what I'm gonna have to do is put a little bit more shadow shapes in here, because those shadow shapes were a little distracting. So I have to reinforce that there's other places that are shadowed like that. Because you're not just gonna get this one dark spot like right underneath something that doesn't have other shadows that match that darkness, right? So you have to kind of reiterate those things so that it doesn't feel out of place. Don't cover up the lights. Lights are important. Some of these shadows could even be just people walking around. Or in this case, pixels walking around. As pixels are wont to do. Some more horizontals in there, and then it feels like you've got like walkways, right? In these big buildings in the back. And maybe a light or two back there. In the shadow of the skull. In the shadow of the skull there were lights. They were too even, so I had to change them. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty solid start. And I say start because once you get into placing these things, it's going to feel a little bit different. Actually, so I've got these shapes that are starting to define like how nothing here has an actual outline to it, right? If you look at this one, everything it's very painted, and we need to make sure that we do that also for, well, I guess this skull here has an outline, probably because there was too many values there, and when I dusted back this at the very end, that skull probably popped out, or wasn't popping out enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that and get a nice light here, and we're just going to paint this edge as if it was grabbing that setting sun, and just along that edge lighting up. And we're going to do the same thing on the sword. Right, so getting rid of anything that would be that would make it feel like it was being defined by a border edge, a bounding edge rather. In here, I'm just going to actually erase those. Put a little bit of rim light there, a little bit on kind of the underside, which would be like right here, right? Put in some more details there. It's a funny thing, I say details, it's like pixels, just to put in a few more pixels there. So this is when it really starts to feel like painting, is when you're just kind of going back and forth and redefining edges of pixels and that sort of thing. Edges of forms and that sort of thing with single pixels. Okay. All right, nothing is being defined by edges now. I'm gonna put in a few more horizontal shadow shapes, so it reads even more like a city. You can really see that stuff when you zoom out, right? Because this is what it's gonna look like when it's near the end, when we're finished with it. Diego, hey, thank you, my brother, and welcome back. Nice to see you, sir. How was Sasha's birthday? You got a jam? Oh man, what you just got here, man? Right on. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. We're gonna make this bigger. And then we're gonna take this and we're gonna drop it into our finished illustration. And we're gonna put it above the placeholder. Bob's your uncle. And that layer of detail is done. Well, I am glad that she had a good birthday, and I'm glad that you were there with her, making sure she had a good birthday. I wished her happy birthday on the Facebooks, because that's generally where we communicate. And doesn't everybody have to tell you happy birthday on Facebook? Isn't it kind of like a requirement of Facebook? So I'm going to go back to this. I'm going to go Window History, just to make sure that I step it back to the correct size for later on adjustments at the right pixel depth. And we're gonna hit save. Oh yeah. So, drop that over it and see how it comes together. So in here, right in this area, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to, Diego, love you, brother. Have a good evening if you don't come back, and we will talk to you soon. So yeah, in this area, I'm gonna have to clean it up a bit. Like do a smooth transition using the colors of the background pixels and merging them slowly forward. So not necessarily dithering, but like painting it back and forth. So now we will save this and go to our, no, not this one, this one. Now we get to work on our character a little bit. So we do know that this was much darker on our finish. So we'll make it darker. And we'll come in here, put a layer on top of it. Actually, here, fill in those. And now, on this layer, let's see, we're looking at this, yeah, it's going to be in the purples. So, oh, again with the wrong layer. It gets really confusing at this point where there's so many different files and layers, and the process is probably overly convoluted. And I'm sure that I could streamline it if I sat down and worked out math equations for each layer. And then I could just work on each thing and then transform it up. But within Photoshop, there's a difference between transforming an object and transforming an entire file. There's an interpolation thing that happens. So if you ever need to size up an image, let's say you do an illustration and you want that, and you want to print it out, but it has to be bigger to print clearly. If you do have to size it, don't make a canvas and then transform your image up. Actually take the file and transform it up within that file using the maintain details, the preserve details filter, and that will interpolate a little bit differently, and you'll have more crisp edges and detail in there without destroying the information. When you transform it up, it doesn't interpolate it the same way. Currently, I'm sure they're going to get better because they actually introduced, I think within the newest version of CC, they have intelligent filters. So they have like AI that looks at everything that you're doing and interpolates, like making it bigger, making it smaller, that sort of thing. Taking out details, putting in details, all of that. So it will change, it will be better, but as of now... good evening, Rice Krispies. Welcome back to the arts department, my friend. And how was your weekend? Let's go with that purple, move it to a blue, and it's going to be a little bit lighter because it is the top plane. And anything facing the sky is going to get bounce light, right? So we're still thinking about all these things because it all has to do with art, right? So filling in that top light a little bit, but maybe even darker? I don't know. Let's get these colors in and then we'll decide. How was your weekend, Krispies? What's new? What's the haps? Krispies. That's how I feel sometimes after a long week of work. I feel crispy. Right on. That's what we like to hear. Quiet ain't bad, you know? Oh, that's like straight gray. You can't have straight gray. You always want to have some type of hue to whatever you're putting in. Because straight gray is gonna kind of stand out a little bit. It'll be a little awkward. Things have been good. I cannot complain, quite honestly. You know, staying busy, staying on projects. When I'm not doing projects, letting my brain rest with some video games and D&D. Things that are, you know, at least somewhat social. So, getting out of the house in my mind. Some shadow shapes in here. So if the sun is here, it's going to be casting a shadow from this guy. So there's going to be a shadow shape here, cutting across, and it's going to group up the value of the tree and the rocks and all this stuff. So I'm going to put some texture in here that may or may not be grasses. of some sort. I haven't decided yet, but I'm going to put them over some of the other lines that are already there, just to break it up so it's not so flat, right? But a lot of this may actually end up going away just from the necessity of darkening that foreground to pop off of the background. Down a little bit. Like I said earlier, hue value and saturation are all tied in a very strange way, so you got to test it with what's there, whatever's next to it, right? As Daniel likes to say, SimCon, right? God, I hate that. We're gonna make it a thing, but I hate it. It's like stupid bougie art term. Simultaneous contrast. So we're just gonna put that shadow shape in. And shadow up this bad boy here. And sun's there. We're gonna have a shadow shape coming off of him there. And lighten that just a touch. Because while it is around the corner of where the light source is, you still have to show a turning form a bit, right? And that's what's gonna help. Oh, you're totally right, Pally. Shadow shape. That would be really great for like an assassin ranger subclass of some sort, right? I always think of ranger. I don't know why. Just my automatic like inclination. Yeah, I like the Gloomstalker, but not shitty. I say that, but I never played a Gloomstalker. I kid. I do not know how fun or not fun a Gloomstalker is. I played a Beastmaster way back in the day. And then I played what's the hunter? I'm a hunter currently, but I'm like a multi-class hunter. I'm not like a straight ranger at all. If you can multi-class, I don't know why you wouldn't. That's just my outlook. Get some darks on the bottom there. So, I did a hunter rogue fighter so that I can get sneak attack and action surge, because fuck you, you're gonna die. Yeah, I think I top out at currently I think it's like 68 is my max damage without action surge, so double that if I rolled like crits for everything, right? Is it a cape or a scarf, Pally? Yes. Yes. Give me one moment. I'm gonna refill my hydration unit. Yes, it's escape.
Escape.
Hey, guess what time it is, friends? It's 9 p.m. You want to do another Battle Royale? Alright, let's see if Stream Elements can take y'all. It is a beautiful day for a Battle Royale in Stream Avatar Land. In drops Martest, Art, Rick, Angry Dog Mommy, Battle Goose, Uncanny Pally, Namera, Rice Krispies, Jolly Stranger, and Alvwheel, and Stream Elements. Go! Ooh, breaking off into 4 groups. Martest punches Art in the face. Don't even know how to say my own name. Rice Krispies picks up a bandage. And who's the first to go? It looks like it was a tie between Rick and oh wait. Oh gosh. It's just the humanity. And Alvwheel takes out Art. Thank the gods. Martest takes out Stream Elements, turns around, and takes out an Alvwheel. And it is Martest for the win. Congratulations, Martest. You did your dance, you took your bow. Take your gold. I am very happy for you, my friend. Where'd the music go? Oh wow, that's the last of this playlist. We already heard this one. All right, let's switch it up, my friends. I think that's roughly about the time we got left in the stream anyway. Indeed. So if you're new to the stream and you have yet to set yourself up with a stream avatar or customize your stream avatar, after you've followed, you can go down to the stream avatar section and allow it access to Twitch. And then you can customize your avatar to your heart's content. And the next time you come back, you too will appear as a custom avatar of your liking. And you can customize it at any point that you see fit. Until I start making it cost the gold that you win in the Battle Royales to actually purchase the equipment. We'll see if that ever happens. Perfect, Rice Krispies. Oh, thank you, Stream Elements. Hey, you know, it's really not about winning or losing. It's about how you play the Battle Royale. Right? Okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. So with this guy, gal, bit thing. Let me see something here. I need to look at what my old design was. Yeah. So, the old design was a little thinner, but I want to move this forward, so. Angry Dog Mommy, thank you for hanging out, and thank you for that resub, and thank you for being here. Always appreciate having you. I know it's hard when it's so late over there, but it's nice to see you, nice to hang out with you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next time you come out. certainly missed you too. And if I had anything other than the hi, I would give you some love. But that's the only, it's the only emote I have access to. Stupid. Oh well. Aw, I'm jealous. You got to hear her voice? Man. We didn't get to hear her voice this weekend. But hey, at least she got to paint, because that's fun. Really? So it's live on D&D Beyond, but you can't access the options yet. Whoops. Let's see. See. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll try it with the blue just to see. And we'll make this clothing a little more towards the orange. So some browns and stuff, right? Different browns. Yeah, I think that actually works. Maybe even into the yellows for some pantalones. But shifting them darker. Okay. By the time I get to look at it, it'll be, well, it should be up. I hope, anyway. Perry Neal, welcome to the Arts Department. Nice to have you here. I am just working out this design a little bit. So, interesting thing is when you're working with pixels, like your actual selections just snap to the pixels, and then you can use the move tool to move it, right? So this is, I kind of use a similar technique when I am when I'm painting my avatars for Perry. It depends on the commission. You can reach me on Discord if you join the Discord, and we can have a discussion in private messages. So, like I was saying, I use a similar technique when I'm doing like the skins for Minecraft, where I just like kind of dither, just like put in different colors that may or may not be, like it might be skin tone, it might be leather, it might be a change in the leather, it might just be some way to show some texture. It can be used in a number of ways. Versatility. Thy name is Pixel Art. I don't know, it feels better as just being, because like I have this whole concept behind the characters, and I don't think skin tone is in the concepts, to be honest with you. Like the tone for objects and inanimate things, sure, but their skin tone, I don't feel like, they're just pixels, so they're supposed to be that color. So, since I moved his head down, now I have to move his halo down a little bit. Okay. So, let's get a little variance in this bad boy. Up here, it's going to be a little lighter. So you can't see it that well against that background, but it is lighter, I promise. Okay, so then on the rocks, going back to the tree stuff, right? I feel like this needs to still be a little bit darker, so we're going to use curves so that we can control where it gets darker. Right, okay. So then on top of this, on the rocks, we have to take out this shape, the line, right? Because like I said earlier, we are using, it's like painting. We're not gonna have bounding lines. We can have pixel lines underneath because that can essentially just be a shadow. But we don't want to have lines on the exterior surfaces that would be facing light. So we're going to lighten every one of the lines that were bounding lines before. And let's zoom out a little so we aren't seeing the pixels. We're also going to do that on the tree. Ugh. This is when it gets a little bit on the confusing side, and you can see all the pixels in there and everything. So you're going to grab that, I'm going to lighten it, I'm going to bring it more towards the violet. And I'm just going to cover up every one of these pixels. Another way to do it would be to link that layer and just paint into that layer on that edge. And then we'll paint those pixels, right? So all of those bounding lines now become, oops, just pixel lines, or just light, rather. I'm going to put that on all those exterior lines. It'll lighten them up a little bit, but it'll give us a little more form. So then on top of that, we're going to grab this turquoise light and we're going to put some of that into these magical stones where those swirlies are. So then take a look at it, and we have so much nice variance in here that if we don't have some variance in the foreground, it's going to end up feeling pretty flat. So let's vary this up a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to select this color, and I'm going to shift the hue into the blue and then up. So it's not as, so it's desaturated and lighter. So we'll have that semi-saturated edge where it's facing the light. And then just some color variance in along the interior of the tree itself. And we'll also hit some other places. Again, getting into the painting, right? Painting this foreground stuff so that it feels like a cohesive art piece. And we'll do it some more, even more. Just little bits here and there, not too much. Just shifting it, popping some edges and stuff. Working back and forth a little bit, not too much. And for this stuff, I actually want to go into the green because it's black right now. So I'll go into that layer where you have it linked to the actual lines, and we'll just use a green to kind of fill that in. That like hangy moss stuff, right? And then we'll vary it up a little bit with a little bit of the lighter color at the bottom where it might be getting some of the light. Just tapping it in there. And then also going to the layer above it and doing some kind of desat pixels here and there. Some other stuff like clinging to the bottom of the branch a little bit. Some moss on the tree. Some mossy stuff on the bottom down here. Maybe on some of these rocks. And it may or may not show up when we actually put that final amount of light and stuff inside or over it, but if it's there, it'll hopefully create some visual interest and some noise that gives the eye something to lock onto and check out, which it's always good to have kind of some noise, some like fidelity in there, right? Something for the eye to like vibrate against. Whether it be a shift in hue, value, saturation, textural size, those sorts of things. Just little things, right? And you don't, as an artist, you don't have to explain them. I mean, you can spell it out all you want, right? Or you can just leave it up to, especially at this kind of level of pixel art, this kind of idea of pixel art is about implying some things and letting it be up to the viewer, up to your imagination. Like I can name them as I paint them, but that might not be what you see. You're like, no, that's not a blade of grass. It's a fucking flower, you know? So, looking at this overall design, seeing if there's any way to improve it before we drop this into our final and take some more steps on that final and see what how it comes out. So let's save this, and then we're gonna go image size, and our last one was 400%, 600%, so this is gonna be 800%. Let's see what the pixel size is. Nope, that's too big, so it's 600%. Yeah. Okay. So now we're gonna select all. Actually, let's just group this. Group it. Call this foreground. And drag it over to this illustration. Whoop, something's not right here. 1600. Yeah, it's too big. Why 4? Let's do this. Okay, you don't want to scale something up and then scale something back down. So what I need to do is actually do it on a pixel basis. So I'm gonna look at, yeah, I'm just gonna undo this, back to its normal size, and go to image size, and we're gonna do this as pixels. So we just want this to be 1600 pixels. We say okay. I'm gonna group this back up again and drag it in. There we go. Cool. So, Giant Blitz. Took a break on drawing for 2 weeks and now I'm terrible. I've been focusing on school, so I couldn't draw. You know, Blitz, that's just, it happens to everybody, and all you can really do is just like get back into it. Just, you know, dedicate yourself. Just say, hey, I'm gonna put, you know, an hour and a half, 2 hours a day into practicing and doing some gesture drawings or doing some studies, and you'll get there again. It's amazing how quickly your hand forgets what it's doing when it comes to art. Like, it happens to everybody. Like, I can't take 2 weeks off from drawing because it will ruin my career. So I have to do those drawings. But I and every other artist out there understand your pain. You are not alone. And I believe that you can get back into it and rock it out for sure. Your focus determines your reality, as they say. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do some pixel size edits on this stuff. Actually, this is gonna have to be on the middle ground. So I'm gonna select that, and we're just gonna select all layers, no adjustments. Okay. So we're doing this before we actually come in, and I'm gonna call this layer boundary. Or boundary, whatever. And we're gonna try to merge these two without it looking too artificial. And it's the shift in the size of the pixels that's causing the value of it, right? So I can, this is where we start to get into more details for certain areas than there should be. So you gotta kind of strike a soft balance. Don't be too heavy-handed. So just pulling from some of the background stuff to kind of merge these two together and make it not so abrupt, right? Like, there has to be a reason that those are looking the way they're looking. So maybe there's a building there, kind of cutting off that edge of that. No, we want only that size square. So zoom out a little bit and take a look at it. Reads okay. Still pretty abrupt. So what I'm gonna do is take this and fill out a lot in here. And then make it ever so slightly darker. And try and keep the pixel shapes looking like pixel shapes, even though they're shifting ever so slightly. Keep that ground plane looking like a ground plane. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. I think what I can do is I can add some more buildings kind of trailing off across this landscape to make it feel cohesive, right? So get those values to mix together, the hue, saturation, and value to mix. So maybe that shows an outside boundary of the buildings on one side, right? So then underneath, there's the river layer. Forgot to color that bad boy. So let's drop some color in there. Maybe a little bit lighter. And then back in here, we'll actually have it end up mixing with what looks like the sky, because it's going to be reflecting the sky. So, trying to get some of this to reflect in the river, right? Whilst the river is reflecting this color up there. This is going to be reflecting the depth of the trees there. So what I'll do is I'll move the blue ever so slightly into the green and bring it down in value a little bit more. There you go. And we'll actually put that across here where there would be what would be a riverbankish, right? And have some reflection happening there. Little tiny brush. And we'll use that tiny brush to get a little more detail in there. And lighten it up as it goes into the background a little bit. showing a little bit of current, I mean. Uncanny Pally, thanks for being here, sir. Always nice to have you. Enjoy the Tashas. I look forward to a full report of the awesomeness. And we'll see you next time, my friend. And thank you very much. Always fun to do pixel art with friends. Pixel art with friends. Little Bob Ross pixel art. Happy little ruins. Let's break up that shape so that we get more of the current coming through, because otherwise it's working against us if it's going horizontally. We don't want that. No, sir, I do not want it. This may be an instance where I use a larger textural brush because there's a specific feeling to water that you may or may not be able to get with a single pixel. So we'll give it a try and see what we end up with. Yeah, see, that's got a little bit of dither to it, right? Only it doesn't look like that weird tacky dither that they put into some stuff. It's got a little bit of juice to it, a little bit of variance. So I can appreciate that. And I may even use this on this layer that has the waterfalls. Oh, and it'll give us a nice kind of spray. Giant, I don't really have a mentorship program at the moment because I don't have a whole ton of time. But what you can do is if you come over to the Discord, you join the Discord, and you post up your pieces in the critique area, I can steer you when I have a little bit of spare time here and there by telling you what I would do to improve it. It's entirely up to you, but that's the option with me right now. At some point in the future, I may have a mentorship program. We will see. Otherwise, it's the Discord or nothing. That's all I got. Yeah, so that's the Discord. Join up and post your stuff on there in the critique and discussion area, and I'll see if I can help you to improve your skill set. I mean, I will say this, Giant. It's all about focus. It's all about putting the time in, and there's no shortcuts. So joining up thinking that you're going to find a shortcut, it's not a thing. What you need to do is mileage. Every single time it's mileage. It's drawing every single day. That's the bottom line. It's like doing a drawing, figuring out the mistakes that you make along the way, mistakes, quote unquote, or the ways that you can improve for the next drawing, and doing the next drawing, and doing the next drawing, and doing the next drawing. And that's how you can improve. It's important to have, and thank you, Martes, it's very nice. I really appreciate that. It's good to have a group of peers around you that can help you to improve, that can steer you along that path. But really, it's entirely up to you, because what you put into it is what you get out of it. So there's things that I can steer you towards, but there's nothing that I can do that's going to magically make you better. You have to do the work. Middle ground, middle ground, middle ground. There we go. This is the one I'm looking for. So, on this lines, right? Yeah, there's the lines. I noticed that I did not color the damn thing. How do we get back to the brush? That's weird. No. Bad Photoshop. Naughty. Naughty Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just coming in and putting this lighter edge in there so that it's not a bounding edge, meaning doesn't look like a drawing, right? So I'm taking out the drawing by coloring it lighter. You're very kind, Martez. I do my best to not steer you guys wrong. It's, you know, art is, there's some things that are technique opinions, for lack of a better term. Like it's just opinion, so you take it or leave it. One thing that's not opinion is if you work hard, you improve. Science. It's been very rare for me to ever encounter or see somebody that didn't improve given time and work, right? I mean, it's not unheard of, but it's super, super rare. Nope, that needs to stay dark. Just the bounding side, right? So now that that's in, I actually want to come in. No, not going to do that. Like I'm very tempted to like adjust that edge, but I'm not going to do it on this piece. I think that would do a disservice to the actual style. Like at a certain point, you have to say, this is what the style is, and leave it. So we're going to hit the old save on this. You know what I didn't do was in the background on these clouds, I did not put in the little whimsical shapes that I have on the other one. It's 2 pixels. I don't want 2 pixels. I want 1 pixel. There we go. So did you see that I had a tangent like right up against that edge right there? So I adjusted that very quickly so that I was not messing it up, because that would certainly have messed up everything. Once you get a lot of these pixels in there, you really have to pay attention to where your tangents are. Otherwise, you're going to end up borking your drawing. Borking is the technical term for fucking it up. There you go. So sometimes you gotta add some straights in to make it feel right with this stuff. this way. In fact, let's do this. Ooh, there you go. That's fun. And different. I like it. Do one back here too. Nope. Make sure it's even when you do it, if you're going for even. And these should definitely be even. Yeah, I like it. Subtle, right? Sort of subtle anyway. Oh, forgot up here. Trying to get to all these before we increase the size. Because it's going to be harder then to edit it for sure. And you can see that if I feel like it's not just right, I just undo it and do it until it's right. Okay, so now in the very back here, we're going to do a sun. And we're going to fill the entire sun. We're going to drop it down. On top of all of these, where are we? Middle ground, middle ground, middle ground. There's a background. Background. There we go. So it's the background, the sky, and everything. So I'm guessing right about on this layer, I'm going to call this light. Oh, we're going to save it first. Save it, and we're going to do a save as again, and we're going to call this finished illustration. And save it. And then we are going to finished equals illustration. Ugh, idiot. Okay, now we're going to go image size. We're going to look at the nearest neighbor. We're going to make sure that that's on. And this is where we're going to get really big. So to be print worthy, it has to be 8,000 pixels across. And that can be at 72 DPI, or we can make it bigger. We can do it at 300 DPI. Good Lord, that's huge. We don't want to do that. Actually, why don't we do 9,000, just to make sure. So we're just gonna hit OK. Here I was thinking it was gonna take a while. Let's look at the image size, make sure that it's 9,000 pixels across, and try our brush. So our 1 pixel brush is now that big. I don't know if you can see it, but it is small. Like if I'm zooming into 1 pixel, there you go. So this was 1 pixel before, this bad boy. Whee! Alright, so now that we've got that, we're going to switch back to our normal painting brush and our normal erasing brush, and we're going to go to our big ol' soft round brush, and we've got to switch back to our brush, make sure it's the soft brush, do all of it again because you're dumb. Okay, cool. So now this is on top of the river the background mountains, the sun, and everything, including the sky, right? Oh, as a matter of fact, let's do this first. Call this sky color. And now we're going to start working in the right colors. So you can see that that's the blue that it is, because I'm selecting below everything without the without this adjustment layer at the very top. So I'm selecting that color that's beneath what we're actually seeing. And I'm going to make it more saturated, and I'm going to turn on pressure sensitivity, and I'm just going to dust it in a little bit, right? And mainly it's to bracket a little bit. And then I'm going to change to another blue, and I'm going to again bracket just a little bit on the corner, so I'm just tapping ever so slightly, and you can see down in this preview that it's actually looking pretty good. So now on top of the clouds, we're going to group these clouds, and we're going to call them clouds. All right? So then on top of these layers, we're going to pop another layer, and we're going to get some purples in there. And we're just going to tap them into kind of the back of the clouds a little bit. And we're going to merge those clouds down so they're all in one layer, and then link that purple to those clouds. And then adjust it accordingly, adjusting the fill to get what we're looking for. Could also do it as a color mode, but that really changes the purple that we had there to another more of a kind of reddish, right? You see that? So yeah, let's stick with normal and turn down the fill a little bit so we get that purple influencing the yellow, but not too much. And then we'll just throw another layer over it and bring the purple up a little bit, meaning brighter, and just tap it in there a little bit. Let's get just a touch of it on that cloud, not too much. And then on top of, actually, let's see, the light is actually going to be on top of this middle ground stuff, I think. Right? So this is, I don't know what that is. Let's transform it and find out. It's nothing. It's empty. So we'll delete it. What's this? Let's transform it and find out. I really don't see anything. Oh, it's a few pixels down there. Okay, those are the adjustment. Whatever. Okay, well, on top of this layer, we are going to grab some. This might actually be a good spot for a color dodge layer. So we're gonna throw in a black. We're gonna turn it to color dodge. Color burn. Oh, it's inside of a group. That's why. Okay. I was like, what's going on? So if you have a color dodge layer inside of a group, it will interact with the group setting. So I had that set to normal so that the hue and saturation adjustment layer only affected the pixels in that folder. So the color dodge layer, for some reason, that's just the way they behave. So I took it out, switched it to color dodge, and it works just fine. So now we're going to link a layer. And on this layer, we are going to paint some color. And that is going to affect, whoa! Affect everything below it. And it might be a little too much, because we're gonna end up losing things. So I'm gonna bring it, I think, down into the saturation here. Oh, it's so finicky. It's like you just barely touch it. It like blasts out. So really got to be soft with this. And I feel like I just have to build it up very slowly. Otherwise, it's gonna affect everything adversely. Yeah. So here, let's throw another layer on top of it. Not color dodge. And this will put the atmosphere into the whole thing. So let's bring this up on top of the middle ground. There you go. Look at how it made that pop. That's great. And let's bring this color dodge down a little bit so we still get some of that background going in there. So it's going to outline them and kind of make them pop, but it's not going to overwhelm it, right? And so now we can also come in on a bit of an overlay layer. So we'll make a new layer, set it to overlay. And this is where we'll we can darken some areas down and lighten some areas up, as well as add some more kind of color variance with big broad strokes. So I'm going to undo that and big broad strokes in here to darken the city up. Got to be careful not to make it so dark that it's as dark as the foreground though. Or we have to darken the foreground even further so that it doesn't feel like the middle ground is in front of the foreground, because contrast comes forward, meaning towards the viewer, right? So I can darken this stuff, but then I have to be aware of what's happening up here with this. I can also lighten it. As if there's like smog catching the light, right? So you go, when there's particulates in the air, you get more of the light actually showing in the air. So while I'm here, let's go back to this color dodge layer. Nope, that's not going to work. Here, just do it on another layer. Get some lights popping out a little bit in this city, right? So part of the style is pixel, but then at the same time I have these light sources and glowing elements that are magical or lighting up an area around them to be interesting, right? Okay, so then call this one foreground, and foreground is not normal, so we can, I mean it's normal, it's a normal, but you know what I'm saying, it's not a normal folder, so we can put a color dodge layer inside of it. And merge, link those layers, and so just tapping in some effects here. Then we're going to make another layer and actually have it just a normal layer where I paint over everything. And because this layer is weird, a screen layer that actually lightens him. Adjusting these layers to find one that is optimal. And it might be lighten. Because light on light, it's very hard to get it to glow correctly, right? So then we'll put another overlay layer over that. And we'll come in with, I think I want to do some like dark greens to give this kind of a green cast back in here. And up into the tree. Just a little light coming off of those stones. Just a touch. And then a normal layer on top of all of that, where the light behind him is just poking through a little bit and giving him that kind of backlight feel. He's the hero and the savior. Just lightening some of these foreground elements, just barely, just tapping in some lights. So, gonna take all this, copy it, paste it. Not quite 10 o'clock yet, so let's see if we can do some adjustments here. So this is basically the balance between lights and darks here, right? And I can add in a little bit more dark, but I can have it go more towards the violet. A little too dark, so we'll dial it back. Alright. Copy, paste. Whoa, what happened there? That's interesting. I don't know what just happened, but I'm gonna keep it. Select all, copy, paste. There you go. Wow, it's weird. You know, sometimes there must be a copy paste without effects, and that's what I just did. That was really cool. I don't know. Fingers, they did a thing. So let's convert this to a smart object, just in case I want to come back and do a little bit more editing on it. Can already see that I don't like that right there, so those lights I'm going to take out, and I'm just going to let them be. And we're going to select all, copy, go into the smart object, paste it, merge it down, save it, and close it out. You can tell I've done that millions of times. So now we have our smart object. We're going to filter, lens correction, go to the custom tab, and we're going to slide this all the way over into the red, and we're going to slide this all the way over into the blue. We're going to make sure they're roughly equal. Look at that, perfectly equal. Boom! And that is going to apply the chromatic fringing to the edges. So you see how you have red on one side and the blue on the other when you zoom in? And as you get to the center of the image, it is a smaller red and blue. But as you go towards the edge, it gets bigger and bigger. It's as if the pixels were misaligned. All right, so since I don't have my pixel art, oh, I can do that here. Here we go. So go here, go back to my pixel, or my pencil rather. What? Step it back before the image size. Try that again. New layer. So if we take this, copy it, do file new, you can see that it's 12 pixels. It's literally that big. Paste it, then we're going to make it bigger by 800%. Then we're going to say copy, and we're going to paste it into here. And we're going to invert it with Control or Command I. And I'm going to do something that I told you not to do, which is to transform it. But we're going to go to nearest neighbor with the transformation, and hopefully that'll help it to look not as shitty. Too big. There we go. Save now. Close that without saving it. And there you are, friends. 10:02. We have finished up our pixel art for the evening. That is that. Thank you for being here, playing along, hanging out in the arts department. I will be back Wednesday for more fun and shenanigans, and Friday for more fun and shenanigans. You know the links where to reach me, and join the arts department, the Discord. Head by the YouTube channel, do the likes, the subscribes, the comments, everything to help us all grow as a community. Thanks for being here. Thanks for spending time in the arts department. I really appreciate all of you guys. You're amazing. Thank you for being an integral part of the entire process. Have a wonderful evening. And that's it from the arts department. Keep drawing, and we'll see you next time.